this is our opportunity. This is our moment right now, okay? They play freshmen, some sophomores, some young guys. Like, this is our moment. They can have their moment later on. This is our moment tonight, okay? This is our moment. Take it. Take it. Have a chip on your shoulder and take it.
Put 'em in the dirt. Say it again, man, and that's a reverse. Never rehearse. Jumping in first. Call up the nurse, put the beat in the hearse. This is absurd. Take the berserk. Don't get on the tracks, man.
Well, coming out of the conference tournament, we really felt good about how we competed. We didn't feel good about losing the last two games and going 0-2 in the semifinals of the conference tournament. But we did feel good about how we competed against two very good teams in York and Seward. We were frustrated with how the Seward game ended. We felt we let that one slip away a little bit. But going into the St. Cecilia game always is special. I mean, they're a very good program, arguably one of the top programs in the state over the last 10 years. And it, quite frankly, it was a big game for us because we had not beaten them in recent memory. We'd beaten them once in the last probably 15 years, and we had not, that's a big goal of ours, and we had not gotten it done. And so coming out of the conference tournament, we were pretty focused on getting a victory that night.
Conference, STC game, we came out ready to play, I thought, and I don't know. We haven't beat them in a long time. We haven't gone 2-0 in Hastings in a long time, so that was kind of cool to do. And we went in there and we smacked them around, and it was really fun because I'd never beaten those guys, and I don't remember the last time Adams Central has won, even at St. Cecilia, and we just took care of business.
The SEC games atmosphere was pretty intense. I mean, the first half was pretty intense because it was a close game, and then the second half we kind of stomped on them, and then that kind of quieted the crowd down a lot. So I mean, the first half it was really fun to play in, and then it was all right.
I mean, I love playing in the atmospheres because you know everybody in the stands, no matter if they're from AC or St. Cecilia, and you know all of them, and it's kind of good to see St. Cecilia's student section just kind of like bummed out because we were killing them at the time. And I remember they were taking it out of bounds, and they're like, "Hey Dante, why don't you go dunk it next time," or something like that. And I was just like, "We're up 20, it's all right. You don't need to talk to me." And I don't know, it's just fun always playing in crosstown rival games because you know who you're playing, they know you, and it's just fun to beat them.
There's a lot of great gyms you get to coach in, play in this part of the state. And I think St. Cecilia's is definitely one of those facilities you walk in, and if you appreciate greatness, if you appreciate people that have had a high level of success, it's pretty hard to not appreciate what you're looking at when you walk in there, when you see the amount of banners hanging in that gym. There's a lot of really good athletes that went through there in all kinds of sports. And so, I've coached a lot of games in that gym, so I don't really think much of it anymore, but definitely it's a special place, probably in Nebraska high school sports when you think about the amount of championships hanging on those walls. Well, we felt pretty good about it in the sense that it's St. Cecilia, and that jersey means a lot. I mean, arguably the greatest compliment you can give a program, and I hope we could say the same thing about us, is that the kids, when they put on that uniform, are willing to do anything for that uniform. I mean, it means a lot to them, and St. Cecilia epitomizes that. So yeah, it wasn't a traditional St. Cecilia team. They're very young, but still to go in there and get a win was very satisfying, I think, for our kids and coaches.
Compared to the past years, the atmosphere at the STC game wasn't what I thought it would be, I guess. Like, usually it's packed house, and like the Hastings game was rocking, but the STC game was kind of different this year. It almost went in, and they didn't expect to have a good game. I don't know. It was just kind of weird.
The Hastings game is different every year. I love playing Hastings because the atmosphere there is so great. Everybody's cheering, everybody's hyper for it, everyone wants to win. And going into that game, just going through warm-ups, you could tell that game was going to be different because, I mean, it's Hastings High. We wanted to beat them so bad. They were really good. They were ranked in Class B. And honestly, I feel like a lot of people probably didn't know if we were going to beat them. They didn't know really what we were made of.
This is it. And this is it. State champion. And you're 4 years of high school. Your last home game. You never get to play here against the NFL, okay? This is it. And, you know, what a great game to be your last one. It's not Fillmore or somebody like that. I mean, this is what you want, okay? We talked about it with coaches and other people today. We were talking how spoiled you guys are. You know, realize it sometimes with what you get to play in front of. There's a lot of people that play 4 years and never play in front of a crowd like you're going to play in front of, okay? And I go back again to Coach Alexander's thought the summer camp in Omaha. Remember that? What did he say? Be the team that other people want to watch. Well, you got a great opportunity tonight with a packed house, a lot of people that love basketball in this community to watch two really good teams go at it. Okay? And, you know, one of my favorite quotes is by Gandhi, be the change you want to see in the world. So if you think about the team and what we need to do, what does that say to you? Do it. Like whatever you need, whatever you want to see, whatever we need to do more of, then do it. Earlier before that. Hey, good half. Good half, okay? It would have been a great half, except for about one thing. You gotta take care of the ball. And there's gonna be contact. The referees are gonna let you play. So when you get like a rebound, there's 2 or 3 of them on, like we get a defensive rebound, and we're trying to dribble. There's guys everywhere. You gotta squeeze it. One time he just took it from you. You know what I'm saying? Like we've got to secure it and be super solid. And if you feel pressure, then you gotta dribble away from the pressure. Be solid. You don't have to go 100 miles an hour with those guys around you. Possession is more important. Does that make sense? Slow down, bend your knees, take your time. 4.5. Okay, you had a great pass to Shug as well off of the first one where he cut off. Good back screen on that web. Okay.
Guys, we got to have every loose ball in the second half. We're going home with a win.
Hey, when we run,
Rebounds and loose balls.
when we run and throw it up the sideline, I think this was Tyler one time, and one time it was Cam. Cam, throw it to Higgs, even if you hit 3. Higgs, if you guys dribble in the paint, there's guys behind you. Right? Like, one time it was Trail Shug, one time it was Trail Thomas, one time it was Trail Hagan. It's there.
Okay, do you have any questions for me? You're going to be on the other end, okay, defensively. You've got to communicate, you got to be great on baseline, talking about where we're at.
Hey, they're really going to drive that gap at you, I think, Webb, a bunch. Don't be afraid to bot. You got 1 foul.
Right.
You know what I mean?
We need
These
physical
refs are not here to call a bunch of fouls.
No.
Play physical on that
Okay,
drive.
here we go.
Let's go, guys.
What's the score? 0-0. Let's go. Hey, you got 3. 1, 2, 3.
Perfect, 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 perfect. Perfect, 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 perfect.
Listen to me. We talk about opportunities. We talk about growing. And I freaking love you guys. Because you fight and you fight and you compete and you listen and you're coachable and you're unselfish. You're everything that a coach wants in a team. And I've been here for 10 years. I don't know how long before that you could say it, but we've never went 2-0 in the city.
No.
That's the first time I've been here. That's a hell of a accomplishment, boys.
I know for a fact that we never went 2-0 because we killed Hastings my 2 years, but couldn't beat Saint. And I know we didn't beat Saint except for a couple years, but then we lost them on a buzzer beater. Fowler's senior year, if you remember, I think Hastings had beat someone.
Yeah.
So that's the first time.
Reimer went Mike Bovey that night
Yep.
when we lost. Yeah.
Yep.
Damn, Obi.
I'm just telling you. Hey, I'm just telling you. You don't really understand what you just did there. There's a lot of really good players that put that uniform on that not went 2-0 in the city. And we talked about it. That's a big deal. That's a big freaking deal.
That was by far, the Hastings game was one of the craziest games of the season. Coming in, I didn't really think that they really showed us much respect, kind of just from preseasons before. We kind of got punked the past few years, and I don't know, that I'll never forget that game. That was one of the most memorable games I think I've ever played in. Hagen and Nolan playing out of their minds, Hagen's dunk at the end, and that was just an incredible game.
I mean, I was kind of just sitting down there, and then when I saw Thomas throw it to Tyler, I'm like, oh, okay, better not miss this. So when I go up, I'm like, oh, hopefully I don't miss this. And then I'm just, right when I get it down, I'm like, all right, this might seal the game, and then it did. So it was cool.
And you just never know how those games are going to go. It was very much like the St. Cecilia game when you play a crosstown game. You know the intensity is going to be high. And you knew both teams, you kind of threw out the records in a rivalry type game, and you just, it's going to come down to who plays the best and who's able to stay true to who they really are the most. And we were really excited for that game. We had a great atmosphere. It was our best home atmosphere of the year, which it typically is. And we were really, really pleased with how we played in that game. It was arguably one of our best wins of the season. Every time we go to Ravenna, it's special for our coaches. Coach Schlecht and I have been in the Loup Platte Conference for 20-some years. We're in the Central Conference now, but we were, he's at Kearney Catholic and I was at Doniphan Trumbull. We were very close to Coach Baranek. And, we still do a lot in our program to imitate Ravenna. We talk about St. Cecilia being one of the great programs in small school basketball over the last 10 years. Ravenna is every bit their equal in that estimation. And it was because we loved how they played that we decided as coaches about 10 years ago we want to play like they do. Imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and we just as coaches decided we want to coach like they do, we want to play like they do. And so they've had a couple tough years here recently, and we knew this was a year, kind of like the last couple, that if we went up there and played well, we probably would be successful. But we really wanted to talk to our kids ahead of time about respecting their jersey and respecting that program and respecting that gym and kind of what it means to us, which was interesting because it doesn't seem like it was that long ago to Coach Selecta and myself and Coach Hunt. But a lot of our kids don't remember them being what we do. And a lot of our kids don't remember Coach Baranek, which is crazy to even say out loud, but I think it's important for us to kind of give a history lesson to our kids about why that program is important to us. And I think, that night our kids really did the right thing. They respected the game, they respected the process, and we were really proud of our guys that night.
Yeah, during the Ravenna game, during halftime, I remember Coach Foster asking us if we wanted to play, and I said no, we should play the bench because, they're seniors and they want to play, so, why not let them play?
So, yeah, I've been having back issues since Christmas probably, and we kind of decided that we had Scott coming up and we knew Ravenna wasn't the greatest, so we decided that I'd start the game, and if we were playing really bad, I could stay in if I needed to, but other than that, I was just going to come out. And I came in, and I hit a three, and I think I played like 20 seconds or something like that, and I sat the rest of the game. But they played really hard, but they were not on our level, and we took care of business pretty much.
I mean, it's just kind of an opportunity to show what I can do and to show what's to come for the next couple years. I mean, it's always good to get that experience playing other varsity players, whether they're good or bad. They're on varsity for their school, so they must be pretty good. And then playing with like Lucas, Cam, and Tyler again. Haven't really played with all of them since 7th grade, 8th grade. So playing with them again was really fun because, I mean, we've played together for years since we were 2 foot tall. So it was really good playing with them again. You could just see, I think, that chemistry between us and how we played together.
Well, we were happy that we got invited to play in the Hoops Classic again. We knew we had our hands full when we signed the contract. We knew that we were playing what we felt was probably a top 10 all-class type team. And I think looking back at the season, I think you could say that they arguably were one of the top 2 teams, 2 or 3 teams in Class B, and you know, arguably one of the top 10 teams in all class. I know they beat Omaha Central by 20, who was a state tournament team, and actually made it to the finals. They beat the Class A runner-up by 20 this year. So Omaha Scout was a tremendous program. And we only took the game because we really believed in our kids, and we thought it would make us better. Thought it would give us a better chance to reach our potential. But it was special. I mean, outside of the state tournament, probably it's the next biggest stage to play on, so we were really pleased.
I'd never really experienced anything besides Sokol, like that, but it was interesting, I guess. I was expecting it to be really loud and a lot of people, and you show up and it's like this giant floor and nobody's talking. Like, we're out there for warm-ups and it's completely silent, and it was the weirdest feeling, but it was still a really cool experience just to, like, we're a team and we're part of this event basically, and people are coming to watch us or watch Scott probably, but either way, it was a really cool experience.
It was cool. I mean, we knew Scott was really good when we were watching film. We knew that Scott was going to be really good, and then going out from the locker room into the arena was just, it was kind of surreal because that was like my first time really playing in a big arena, and just like seeing all the bright lights and all the seats and all this and having the giant court, it was just kind of like surreal, and it just kind of hyped up your attitude towards it more because, I mean, playing in a big arena, you obviously want to play well, you want to show out, and it was just cool being in that whole place, and that whole atmosphere was really fun. I mean, the first quarter, we were actually up on them. I don't remember what it was like 14-10 or something. I remember we were feeling really good, and then obviously at the end, they kind of blew us out a little bit. But after the game, I honestly felt pretty good. I mean, we competed with them pretty well for the most part, and we knew that we weren't going to see anybody that good for the rest of the year. So I feel like it prepared us well for, you know, what was coming at Lincoln and what was coming down the road. But it was definitely kind of a downer because I feel like we really wanted to beat them, and we weren't expecting like their pace and how good they were in their core visions, things like that. So.
I mean, it was kind of a big deal for us. I mean, that's the first time any of us have ever played there. So I mean, it was really fun. I mean, we knew that we could beat them. I mean, or that they were beatable. So I mean, we kind of had to come out and be able to play our best. And I mean, we did for about 5 minutes, and then they kind of realized that they need to step up. And yeah, I mean, we felt fine after the Scott game, honestly. I mean, because we knew that they're top 6 in the all-class state. So I mean, knowing that we only lost them by 20 kind of made us feel all right, I guess. So I mean, and that we came out and stomped on them. But I mean, it was a fun game to play in. So
after that Hastings game, I thought that we were really solid, and nobody gave us a chance against Scott. Every paper was a blowout, which it ended up being a blowout. But for that first, I don't know how long, at the beginning of that game, it was crazy. We didn't miss a shot for the first 4 minutes or something like that. We were up like 20-12 on them, and I thought here we go again. We're just going to keep running away with these games. And then it kind of set in that we weren't conditioned like Scout was. We couldn't play as long as them. They were more athletic, and we all got tired. Shots didn't fall. I didn't score the entire game except 3 points, I think. I played awful. Nolan and Hagen carried us in that game, and a lot of the other guys stepped up too, and it just shows you what a different type of level that team was.
Disappointed that the Kearney Catholic game got canceled because, I mean, going into the district final or sub-district final, I mean, it would have been nice to be able to play them to see how they played. I mean, we had film and stuff, but we never really got the actual feel of how they played. So,
well, my main thing obviously was trying to take care of my back because it was still giving me a lot of problems. But it was really different because you're used to so many games in a row, playing 2 or 3 games a week, and you come out and you're just practicing. And I think our coaches handled it really well. Like, we wouldn't just sit and do drills, and then we wouldn't sit and do plays. We'd mix it up quite a bit. And we scrimmaged a little bit, I think, just to kind of keep the, blood flowing. And I don't know. It was kind of different, but we were all ready to get to Lincoln, but we knew we had to focus at practice.
It kind of felt long. I was kind of bummed because that was that would have been our last JV game, and it got canceled. So, and Kearney Catholic's JV would have been pretty good, so I kind of wanted to play them. Not playing them, I feel like it kind of hurt us a little bit because we didn't get to feel them out for districts. In that 2 weeks, it was just kind of long because you had a lot of adrenaline and you just wanted to get going. You wanted to get to districts and get to state, and you just wanted to get there. But we had that game get canceled, so we just had that span of time where we were just practicing and trying to keep ourselves prepared and keep ourselves mentally locked in. And it was long because you just wanted to. We were just getting antsy to get there and get the job done.
Well, you never know how your kids are going to respond when everybody in the world is telling them that they're going to win. And in that game, I'd be lying if I said that we didn't all feel we were going to be successful. We felt we had a superior team in that game. We don't play Gibbon anymore. We used to. I'm really close friends with Coach Benj. He's a great guy. And so I was looking forward to the game just because I get to coach against a friend, and those games are always more special. But you're a little nervous as a coach as well. I mean, Coach Carlin has talked to me in the past about this, and we're very similar in the sense that you typically don't get nervous for the big games as much as you do for the games where you feel like you should win. So we felt it was a game we should win, so I was a little bit nervous about how we respond because they upset Minden the night before. But our kids played tremendous. They really, again, showed up, respected the game, and really played at a high level. Yeah, we hold the record that matters not at all. So yeah, we did have 4 dunks, which I guess is impressive in the sense that I was in Doniphan for 9 years, and we had 1 dunk in a game. So to have 4 in one game, I guess, is pretty crazy. I was really happy, actually, for Gavin and for Travis, especially Travis, as a guy who doesn't get to play a lot. It's kind of in a JV role this year to kind of get in the game and get a dunk. That's something a lot of guys, myself included, could never ever say they did. So ultimately, that doesn't really mean much as far as getting 4 dunks, but it was kind of cool to see in a high school game.
Yeah. Our coaches talk about a lot, play so hard that you can get your buddies on the end of the bench to play. It's a lot about the experience, not about just going out there and playing, and that's just a good experience for guys like Travis to get their dunk in that given game and stuff like that. Like, that's just really memorable stuff, and it doesn't bother me. I've played my time, and I'll play more, so it's all right.
We were nervous going into the game from the sense that we felt we were definitely every bit their equal, but we were nervous in the sense that we did not play them. This group of guys we had not really competed against, obviously. A lot of those guys were sophomores that played as freshmen, but their best players are freshmen, and there's some unfamiliarity that was there. And we knew they were very good. I mean, we knew they had the capability of beating us, and you just don't know for sure how your kids are going to respond after having a running clock the night before and the previous game.
I had watched quite a bit of film on them, and I didn't really know how I felt, I guess. I didn't expect him to be good, really. Like, I knew the freshman was good, but I didn't think he could shoot, and I thought he was all drive, and I thought our 1-3-1 would shut them down. And personally, I don't know if I've ever even thought about this, but I really don't think I thought it was going to be. I knew they were going to play us tough, but I didn't think there was any chance of us losing.
You know, and it was a game that resembled our season in a lot of ways because we had moments where we played very well, we had moments we didn't. Ultimately, we had some late decisions that just didn't go our way. We made some poor decisions, and like the York game and like the Lexington game, you kind of got to tip your hat a little bit as well. The Mahoney kid from Kearney Catholic scored the last 7 points of the game in the last 40 seconds, hit 2 amazing shots, and you know, he makes one less play and you win, and you probably feel differently. But I think it gave us some focus going forward that we probably needed.
I don't know if this is a good excuse, but we all knew before the game that if we won or lost, we were in sub-state. So I don't know if that helped us or not, but it was a punch in the mouth for sure because, yeah, I don't know, I can't even think about it. It's just like you just sit down in the locker room and you're just like, damn, like that. You can't go back and you can't change it, and that's tough, but.
So with the new like sub-state system, you play sub-district games, and then sub-districts goes into sub-state. But if you have a good enough record, good enough PowerPoint, stuff like that, then no matter what you do at districts, if you have a good enough record, you will be seeded into sub-state. And then sub-state is the one game that'll determine whether you get into state or not. So if you win sub-state, you're into state, no matter what happened at districts or what happened throughout the year. If you make it to sub-state and you win, you go to state. So districts was a little bit meaningless for us. I mean, obviously we still wanted to win, but it didn't have the same like this is it, this is not it type atmosphere because we knew that we would get into sub-state either way, whether we won sub-districts or not.
They're like, look at this rim raiser. Two dunk punches. Hey. Rim raiser.
Okay? This is our opportunity. This is our moment right now. Okay? They play freshmen, some sophomores, some young guys. Like, this is our moment. They can have their moment later on. This is our moment tonight. Okay? This is our moment. Take it. Take it. Have a chip on your shoulder and take it.
So it's the first time that it actually set in that, like, this could be my last high school game ever. And I was actually really nervous, more nervous than I'd ever been for something like that. And I did everything I could to prepare for that game and get our team prepared for that game. And I don't know, it worked out well.
new guy leave.
So here's my thing again, okay? We talked right before you came out. We talked about spirit. We talked about spirit and passion, right? That was what that looks like. So now the thing is you've got to realize again, none of that matters. It's 0-0, go do it again.
It was great after that final buzzer went off. I mean, it was great. It was a great feeling knowing that all of us have done this together. So I mean, it was fun going up there, cutting down nets, and taking pictures afterwards. So.
You know, I thought Hastings was the most hype I would have been that season, but blowing a team out to go to state, cutting down the nets, it was just absolutely surreal. I couldn't really believe it because, I mean, we were going to state, we were going to get the T-shirts, we were going to get the send-off, we were going to get all those things, and I just remember I was just like wide-eyed and hyper and screaming and all this. I was so excited because I felt like we could do big things, and we just blew out a team to go to state. I mean, and they were pretty good, and so honestly, I just remember the last seconds coming down, and then the buzzer sounds, and I was just like so hyper. I was so psyched to get a piece of that net and to just like share that moment with the team and all this. It was absolutely surreal to me.
Well, they're all special. I mean, you know, we have never got to cut down the final nets, but I've heard people say this that have won multiple championships, that they're like your children, that they're all different, that they're all special and they're all different, and it's hard to rate one over the other. You know, this one was special because it'd been a couple years, 3 years, I believe, since the state runner-up team, and you start to kind of think a little bit, you know, are we going to get back down there? Are we going to be able to qualify again? And you know, there's a lot of programs like we've talked about, the St. Cecilia program, the Ravenna program that made it 8 out of 10 years. Our program's made it 5 of the last 10 years. There's a lot of programs that get there regularly, but there's a lot of stories too about teams that make it for the first time in 30 or 40 years. And so we try to tell our kids a lot in leading up to the district game to appreciate the moment and to value it and put everything you have into it, because there's no guarantee you're ever going to get back. We have a lot of kids coming back for next year's team, but we wanted those guys to understand this might be your only chance. So let's really, really value this and make sure we're ready. But yeah, you know, when you're walking around afterwards and you see everybody on the floor and the students and the fans are there and the band that makes the trip, and it is special. I mean, I think arguably the first one here for me was probably the most special in the sense that it was my first time ever going as a head coach. But they're all very, very special in their own way.
I mean, we thought that we could be able to beat them, and I mean, I think everybody knew that we would be able to beat them. So I mean, our prep was very had to be very strict, I guess. So I mean, it was something that we all were ready for, I think. So
it was definitely quieter at practice, just because the gym is huge and, you know, there's a lot of space that needs to be filled with voices, and so it was honestly pretty quiet. I feel like it kind of prepared us well. I mean, we didn't want to go down to Lincoln and just be all deer in the headlights and not know what it felt like, but I think playing at Creighton and playing at Heartland Hoops really kind of helped us prepare for that, because those were two huge venues that we ended up playing in, and we played well in both of those. So I feel like practicing in the college gyms was good for us, but I feel like the games that we played there definitely helped a lot more to prepare for going to Devaney.
Send-off was fun. It was kind of cool to do, but it's not really my thing, I guess. Like, I'd rather just, like, walk out the back door and get on the bus. It's not that all these people screaming and stuff like that.
Yeah, how'd you feel about all that?
It was all right. It was kind of cool to experience, but, yeah.
I mean, I thought it was cool. I mean, like Thomas, I guess. I mean, going out the back doors and going to the bus would have been all right too. But I mean, it was kind of cool seeing all the school clapping for you to go to state and all.
The bags were amazing. They have Mrs. Plake's brownies in there. Oh my goodness, those are so good. And they had a whole load of stuff. They had little basketball chocolates and fruit snacks and all this sort of stuff. And so the bags were 100% best part about the send-off. And then I just remember getting on the bus and going to that game. It was like, all right, this is it. This is what we have been waiting for the whole year. I mean, it was a little different at Devaney than Heartland Hoops because it felt more crowded and I guess the stage felt bigger. You know, this was a game that would make or break our season.
Well, we knew they were very good. I mean, if you get to that level, you don't play anybody poor very often. And so we knew that we had our hands full with a very, very disciplined, very strong, very good defensive team with some good players. Ironically, when we went and won runner-up, we played North Bend in the first round game. And we played Gibbon and Kearney Catholic in districts. And so, you know, superstition is what it is, but we kind of believed that some things were lining up the right way when you looked at the state tournament bracket and who we had played. But we also knew we had our hands full, that North Bend is very, very good at what they do. We prepared the same way we prepared the last 4 times we made the state tournament, and feel we do the right things. We went to UNK to practice in a big facility. You know, so as far as preparation, I felt we did the right things, and we felt like we were in a good place heading into the game.
Well, at the beginning of the game, we played like garbage. I don't know how many points we had. 2 points in the first quarter or something like that. We didn't have a field goal. I think Hagen had 2 free throws or something like that, but it was a punch right in the mouth. We came out, had all these expectations. We all thought we were going to come out, beat the piss out of these guys, and we're down 11-2 at the end of the first quarter or something like that when we're supposed to be a really good offensive team, and we come out and score 2 points, and it's got everybody all worried basically. But we came back in the second quarter and we got it close. I don't know. We were down 4 at half or something like that. I don't know, but I felt a lot better at halftime than I did at the end of the first quarter. That's for sure.
You know, and we took the lead with about 1:30 left, and you're starting to feel like it's going to be storybook, and you're going to find a way to pull it out. And then you get your heart ripped out about 10 seconds later when they score, and a couple things go against you. And wasn't meant to be, but you know, I think the game did show a lot of different reasons of why you play. I mean, from when we took our trip to Indiana, all we talked about was trying to get down there and be the first team in AC history to win the thing. And we felt like everything was setting up that way. And like, you know, when it's over, you as players and coaches, or you have the thoughts in your head about this isn't supposed to happen. This isn't what was supposed to happen. We were supposed to do better. We were supposed to win it. And, you know, I think I'm a person where my faith is very important to me. And somebody once told me that mankind makes plans and God smiles and laughs. And because we like to think we have control. We try to tell this to our kids, that we like to think we can control everything. And you can't. I mean, what you can do is have the best mindset you can and have the best attitude. And when things happen, you know, try to be mature and try to learn lessons. And so that's my thing as a coach. Since the state tournament, is trying to think as the CEO of our basketball program, you know, how can we get better from this? How can we take this negative and make it a positive? And that's, I think, what all of our coaches are trying to do, is trying to find a way to make this experience a positive. There would be some people in life that would say that this failure would scar the season. And I think those people are missing the boat. I think if the only reason you compete is to win a game or to win a championship or whatever it is, then you're missing the point.
Yeah, I mean, it hurt. I mean, we all thought that we were able to go farther, and I mean, I think we all knew that we were able to go farther. So I mean, it's kind of heartbreaking moment for all of us, but I mean, we all realized that there's better things than that in life than winning a state championship, which I mean, we all would have wanted. So,
extremely sad that I'd never get to play with my brothers again and go out there and experience that again. And all year we had these expectations to make it all the way to the end, and we get knocked out in the first round. And I'm just thinking, I can't believe it actually is over like that, and I wish I could go back and prepare our team better or something. Just, I was not ready for it to be over.
yeah.
Any superstitious stuff that you do or anyone else that you know of does?
Not really. I mean, I always go to Subway, I guess, before home games and stuff, and always eat a sandwich. So, I mean, I guess that could be kind of superstitious, I guess.
You want to talk about?
I mean, I guess the only thing I really did, I just made sure my warm-up was the exact same every single time. Same style layup, same shot, same spot, stuff like that. I just always did the exact same thing. And before every game, just to, I guess, warm up, I do a ball handling drill just real quick up top just to make sure that, you know, I'm good. And
I don't really know many superstitions that go along around in this team. I know Suge.
Nolan just
every time before games
absolutely hated wearing his jersey.
And then he'll come in, take off his warm-up, and then put the jersey on. I remember Coach Hunt mentioned that he did that in college, but one game he forgot to put his jersey on. So the coach didn't even let him start because he had to run to the locker room to go put his jersey on because he showed up, he takes the jersey off to go start, and realizes he's got just an undershirt on.
Do you know why Nolan does that?
I have no idea why Nolan does that. He's just an oddball.
I don't have any superstitious stuff, but Coach Selecta. Hey, do that again.
I know. Every time out, every start of the game, Selecta would all freak out on all of us that were going in the game. Be like, get your feet, get your feet, get your feet. Because he thought that we were all going to, like, die or something if we didn't get our feet stuck, get them nice and cleaned off. But I don't know. He was always yelling that at us.
Yeah, Coach Selecta, during every game, that slip knot or whatever, that sticky stuff for your feet, he always, every time out, everything he says, get your feet after every time out.
Yeah, I'm pretty big on this, and actually Coach Foster will appreciate this. Like, he's been blowing me up all year because I'm just running the slip knot deals off. Now, I don't know what's happening in the state, but nobody sweeps their floors. And it used to be like 15 years ago, people would sweep their floors after, like, literally they would sweep them after the girls' game. They'd sweep them at the 7-minute mark. They'd sweep them at halftime. So you would literally sweep the floors like 3, 4, 5 times. This year, for whatever reason, I'm not picking on our custodial staff. Across the state, it's like statewide. It's just not a priority. Maybe it's because they feel like the teams are jumping on the floor, or they don't want to get in the way, or they don't want to hold anything up. But the floors aren't being swept, and so more than ever, I noticed that our slip knot board, after the players like step on it after a timeout and after the first quarter, it's full of dirt, which means the floors have dirt all over them. So we've been going through like 4, 5, 6 of those.
about our seniors. I'll miss just kind of the competitive edge, the fire from Nolan and Thomas, or both those guys, especially those specifically too. The entire senior class, John, especially John's really fiery. They're really competitive and they work extremely hard. For example, today in Chaser, they balled out today in Chaser because they did not want to lose in Chaser. They shot lights out. They always really work really hard and they're winners. They like to win. And then Weber, I'm gonna miss Weber. He's just him and like Plocky and Derek are all kind of goofs. They're really funny. They're fun guys to be around.
I mean, I'm just gonna miss just all the times off the court that, you know, they spent with like the underclassmen or all those people, all the team dinners at like Thomas's house and all the jokes we'd make in the locker room, stuff like that. Just their personalities just were so fun to be around, just on and off the court. And, you know, just at practice, you know, making you laugh when you were frustrated or things like that. Like Weber just making his weird noise whenever we were having some weird time at practice or something like that. And then Nolan just jacking around, doing stuff, saying he was unstoppable in the post, stuff like that. So I'm just really going to miss, you know, their personalities and what they showed off the court as people and stuff like that. And
I'll probably miss the chiding and the ribbing from Landon Weber, Derek, Vonderfecht, you know, Polson, even Plocky with his little smiles and laughs. I'm trying to think, who am I missing? Can't tell what other seniors. Even Luke Crable and Richie, Thomas. Oh yeah, Thomas loves to give it to me. So even those guys drive me nuts and they're annoying in class sometimes because they get away with murder in my class. It's been a lot of fun. I think one day they were like cracking up and creating all kinds of problems because I think Derek Vonderfecht just taking a tennis ball and like chucking it at guys before I came in the room. So that's probably what I'll miss most about this group is their lighthearted, right, humor. So.
I'm definitely going to miss Webb. After playing with him in football and then playing with him in basketball, he's been a really positive influence on me. And he's always that guy smiling no matter what's happening. He's always that guy who will put his arm around you when things aren't going great.
I'm just going to miss Nolan so much. I just love Nolan. Nolan's just amazing.
Anything else?
I want to miss the relationships that we've built, you know, with like, basically I've been playing basketball with these same guys since I was 4th or 5th grader, and it's about to come to an end actually, so I'm going to miss playing basketball with them and just the relationships that we built, and I'm really going to miss the relationships I built with the coaches, you know, going to work with them every day. We've got a great coaching staff, and they do everything they can to make us better. And so I'll miss the relationships I built with both players and coaches.
Just the family that you create when you're in something like this and when you're bought in like we are, it's really tough to end. And I'm going to miss all my seniors especially, and the guys coming back, I'm going to miss them. And just the whole high school basketball experience. I mean, everybody's rooting for you, and you walk around town, they're like, good luck at your game tomorrow. It's like, it's just a really cool experience, and it's over.
Okay. Anything else you want to talk about? Anything? Nothing?
Not really.
Your final words?
Peace.